So today I want to talk with you about why AI generally doesn't help you that much with your screenwriting. And also why coverage and notes tend to not help you that much either. And I'm going to go into this by saying that the structures of the LUCID system is specifically intended to guide you to a higher level of coherence. What do I mean by coherence? I mean alignment between the belly, the heart, and the mind. If they're all on the same page, you're in coherence. If they are fighting each other, you are in discord. So that creates pain, suffering, and it prevents healthy seeing. It prevents the ability to channel your genius. So just to stay focused on the topic of AI for this video, let's say you go to a neighbor and you say, here's my screenplay, what do you think about it? If they're not a screenwriting expert, they might say, oh, like it looks pretty good, it looks professional, I like the paper that you used, the font looks pretty cool. I read a couple of the lines, it looks like people are saying stuff, so thumbs up, looks good. This could be an awful screenplay, right? They don't know what they're looking for. If you go to someone who's, let's say, a writer's assistant and they're accustomed to reviewing work, they might look at it and they say, oh, it looks like you could use a little more exposition. You could use a little more pacing on the dialogue. They can give you some genuine notes on the craft, but still, on the LUCID scale, they're basically trying to help you get to a solid level 2, which is competency, right? Level 1 is mechanical. Level 2 is you're up to the level of cliche, right? Cliche is competent, it's just not original, it's cliche, right? So their notes are only structured in as much structure as they are familiar with and competent in, right? Then you go to, let's say, a professional writer who's able to see a little deeper, has a little more wisdom, has a little more creativity, and they say, oh, well, you can adjust the expression of this character, make them a little more awkward, maybe give them a limp or give them something that sets them apart, right? Then you have a little more actual character development and everyone's not so two-dimensional. These notes might get it up to a level 3. There's a little bit of a sense of aliveness. That's about all notes and coverage can do for you. Because to get it past level 3, the only way is it has to actually come from you and your genius. And that doesn't happen without some level of nervous system coherence. So, in terms of AI, first of all, AI, while it has some understanding of professional writing, it might be able to give you some notes like the assistant to level 2. It might be able to give you a few notes of, character differentiation up to level 3. But AI doesn't have the structures to be able to identify what's missing in level 4. And the reason for that is because those structures are unique to you. Those structures are inside of you. And if AI doesn't have that information, and AI isn't able to build upon something that's totally contextual and personalized for you, it ends up being generic because it doesn't know what it's looking for. So I do use AI in the LUCID Film Studio software, but it's totally different. The output is nothing like what ChatGPT would give you. And that's because the inherent structures built in the software system provide behind the scenes prompts and contextual information that is specifically designed to guide you toward a higher level of LUCID score on your screenplay. And the software knows that's only going to happen through your specific blind spot, which is measured through our StoryCast process. And there's also a test, just in case, inside the LUCID Film Studio software. Because once your blind spot is identified, you're then able to include that into the context of what you're writing, and AI is then able to also include that into the context of what's missing, and it is able to infer and understand why you avoided certain issues in the screenplay that you avoided. So instead of just your neighbor saying, oh, this could be better, this looks good, instead of the assistant or even the professional writer saying, oh, you could do this, it is personalized to your unique psychology. And the best screenplays are a journey for the writer of the writer themselves becoming more conscious and self-aware. That's called gnosis, self-knowing. So if you are using your screenplay writing process for further self-knowing, instead of it being a craft, it is crafting you. You're turning around the process. So instead of trying to make it good, you are living in it, and it's becoming real. And it's actual intimacy instead of performing intimacy. So AI is only useful when it's used correctly with the right structures, understanding that the goal is not to do it for you, but to show you why you haven't been able to do it so far. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Check out lucidfilmstudio.com for more information.